Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are back on the Savage Wilds modded map in map square C2, building a Stygian Tavern. All of the mods for this build are in the pinned comment below, so without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, we'll be starting off with, of course, the baseplate. I have a blueprint on screen now, and as you can see, it's really quite simple. The Stygian style is based on the ancient Egyptian buildings, many of which were very simple square or rectangular homes with flat roofs, so it's nice and easy on the actual construction front. I chose to use the amazing sand and stone mod for this build to access the Marun set, which is the perfect option for Stygian builds, though if you're on console, sandstone or maybe even stone brick will serve you just as well. For the lowered section of the build, I used a simple trick where you place a fence foundation onto a regular foundation, clip it slightly lower, and then clip another foundation onto the fence, making for a much smoother height transition and making half height drops possible. Once I'd finished the base plate, I then built up the walls. Seeing as this base plate doesn't really tell you where the room separation is on the blueprint, I've also included a floor plan that you can see on screen now, and hopefully that should make sense of things. It's a very simple design, but it works really nicely. Now, the Marun walls are taller than normal walls, and they will sit a little bit above the ceilings on the floor above, unless you use the interior walls. This is great for the flat roof style of Stygian. But if you're on console and you're building with sandstone or stone brick, you can achieve the same effect by just using fences on the edges of the roof. Next, for the first floor. I used ceilings to cap off the walls, built a partial first floor with some gaps to give the build a little bit of verticality and breathing room, otherwise I think the ground floor would have ended up feeling a bit choked. I used Marun tile ceilings for the interior section and Marun stone for the exterior, which helps with planning and area separation. On this floor I'll have a smaller drinking area around the centre of the floor, along with a rear balcony, 2 small rentable bedrooms and a larger front balcony. Next, for the roof. On the stairs between the ground and first floor, I decided to build a staircase that wraps around the tavern and reaches said roof. I did make a very slight error here in that I placed the stairs right against the wall, so I started off from the wrong point on the staircase. However, I did later go back and fix that, adjusting the stairs accordingly. I then built the rear walls on the first floor and placed Marun stone ceilings to cap off the walls and create the roof. I also built up some 1 tile high sections on the roof to create a bit more shape in the build. If it was just a massive flat roof, I don't think it would have worked too well. The roof will be another drinking area, vastly increasing the amount of patrons that the tavern can serve, and providing an actual utility to the flat roofs, rather than just simply being there to fit the Stygian aesthetic. Next, I went around the build and added fences indoors and half walls on the exterior. The Marun wooden fences are really simple and they're a great option to use indoors, but if you are on console, I think flotsam fences would probably be a great option. I avoided using any fences with spikes as I didn't really think it fit the vibe of this tavern. It was during this section that I adjusted and fixed the staircase to properly wrap around the build and reach the roof. Finally, for detailing, I added corbels on the interior of the build, though in the furnishing phase, I would also use maroon pier pillars and place them into the walls below the corbels to give the build a bit more structure and shape. This was nice, it was a good choice, but it was quite an arduous task, so if you want to do that, it's something you probably want to do before you decorate the build. I also chose to use flotsam awnings very sparingly around the build. I think the fabric fits nicely with the Stygian aesthetic, but you don't want to go overboard and end up masking the intended style of the design. Finally, when the shell of the build was done, it was then time to, of course, furnish. Approaching the build, there are some visitors outside the tavern, and I've also lined the exterior of the tavern itself with the ruined building pieces that I think were added in update 2.4, and this was to fit the other nearby ruins and give the build a bit more structure and depth on the base, which I think was a really good choice, and I may have to do this for some more future builds, as long as it's appropriate, of course. Entering the tavern, I've used Turanian lighting and sparing but theme appropriate decorations to cultivate an authentic and welcoming atmosphere. Now this is quite a simple tavern, but it functions really nicely. If you look around, you might even spot some familiar faces amongst the patrons. Let me know in the comments who you guys spotted. Heading behind the bar, there is a small 2x3 storage room, along with a 3x3 bar area that I've stocked quite heavily with a variety of decorations, including food, flagons, all that sort of stuff. I've tried to stick within a practical theme. No fancy 3-course meals or craft beers here, just ale, spirits, and simple food, and that is the perfect option for this theme. Heading upstairs, we reach the first floor. This is a small drinking area with access to 2 balconies that overlook the rear and the front of the build, and with the larger balcony having a particularly nice view across the dock and the ocean. The 2 bedrooms on this floor are available to rent overnight by paying at the bar. They are very simple bedrooms, but they serve the purpose for weary travellers looking to lay down their head for the night. Heading up to the roof, this is an extended drinking area, if you can stand the harsh heat of the desert sun. The roof really takes advantage of the impressive views nearby, and it's the perfect place to eat, drink, get some sun, and wonder why that strange dark mage is focusing so hard on that nearby pirate galley. And there we have it, a Stygian Tavern on the Savage Wilds modded map in Map Square C2. Thanks for watching. I really quite like the Stygian style, it's simple but effective, and today I just really had the urge to build a tavern in this style, and I think it came out pretty good. As always, you'll find all the links to my Twitch, Discord, Twitter, Patreon and NordVPN discounts in the description below, along with credit for the music used in this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I put out at least 2 videos a week, so there's always plenty of content to come. If you have any suggestions for future builds, I would love to hear them in the comments below. As always, a massive thanks to our patrons Sir Dialot, Rundar, Connor, Blue Ivy, Velma, Torn, Eagle Rose and Maril224. Again, thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.